good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for being here this morning, bright and early, and looking fabulous as always.
Thank you for inviting.
especially Elliot. So the purpose of this Zoom call this morning or Zoom presentation is to really bring value to you guys. So whether you're ready selling pre-construction or maybe you're looking to tap into new construction, we want to give you, little pointers, tips of kind of how we've been running our business. Some of us have been in the business for a long, long time, like Susan. So definitely can't wait to hear all her expertise. We're going to start by introducing everybody, and they'll give you a little background on themselves, when they started, and also what project they're representing today. So let's start with Karla.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for being here, and thank you for having us. I work for Continuum in North Bay Village, Continuum Club and Residences. And are we talking about how we started?
Yeah. Okay. What got you into new development?
So I started my career in real estate about 8 years ago. I started with my mom, actually, who's watching on the Zoom right now. And I was always fascinated with pre-construction, with new developments. I used to go to every single project, and I was fascinated by the fact that you're selling a floor plan, you're looking at something that is not yet tangible, and then years later you're watching this building that is built and it's sitting exactly where they said that it was going to be sitting. So I used to look at everybody that was presenting in pre-construction and be like, I want to be there, I want to be there, I want to be there. And I feel like I'm living my dream that I wanted from when I started my career.
That's amazing. That I have a very similar story. And that's how I feel. Like I'm fascinated by something not existing and then somebody having the vision to it and creating it.
Yes.
And it just being there and to be able to be a part of it and be like, I saw that from nothing when it was just conceptual. So that's awesome.
I agree.
Amazing. Susan?
What was the question again? Sorry.
So what is your name?
Hi, I'm Susan Trevisa. I work with Douglas Elliman and Terra Group for the past few years. I was a sales director for Mr. C Residences. That's what brought me to Douglas Elliman. And now I am the sales director for 2 projects, for the Well in Bay Harbor Islands and the Well in Coconut Grove.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what sparked your interest in new development?
Very similar to what Karla said. I started a new development. I'm the oldest one here. I'm the old one here. So I started a new development actually.
You're the most experienced.
I'm the most experienced. Okay. So I started back in the early 2000s. Okay. Wanted to get into development sales very badly. It's just something that I guess after visiting a few sales galleries very early on in my career, like, this is what I want to do. It was very hard for me to get in the very beginning, to get my foot in the door, because everybody wanted to hire somebody experienced. And how was I going to get that experience if I wasn't given a chance? Finally, somebody gave me a chance at the end of a project. I had to prove myself. I was actually terrible at, now I'm very confident. I think I know that I'm very good at what I do. Okay. Back then, I was probably the worst salesperson. And I think it just comes from working on project after project, working with different people, getting inside the buyer's head. A lot of it is psychology, building relationships with brokers. And, now I can confidently say that, I absolutely love what I do. I wouldn't do any other job. Love this. And, I know my value now, which, it took years, but now I do.
And you bring, I like to say this to people all the time, being you is your superpower, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's very important you want to learn from other people, especially people that are absolutely thriving on what they're doing, but you got to bring your own sauce to the table.
Absolutely.
And you have to be always very conscious of that and know that that's your superpower. And that's how you're going to thrive and be successful in what you commit yourself to being successful. So I love that you touched on the point that it does take a long time to get your foot in the door. Same for me. It took a long time. This is my first in-house position for 14 Rock in Miami. And I couldn't be more grateful because it took about 4 years for me. That was my journey, but it's what I wanted. And, the no's were never a deterrent. I'm like, it's what I want. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep working on my craft. And I knew it was just a matter of time before I got that yes. Yeah. So, if you're trying to break into that, know that it takes time. You have to be consistent. And just like you said, the biggest thing you can do or anybody can do is believe in themselves. And I know you're the best, and be confident and cocky about it.
I can tell you something I heard about Karla this morning. And this is interesting because we just met today.
Oh, here we go.
I was on the phone. No, and this, some people just get it. And I think that she's one of them. And I say this, like, I love to empower people too. And if I hear something positive about a person, I'm the first person to tell them. And I was on the phone this morning with her former boss, if you want to say, okay, Nicole Solares, who used to work with Douglas Elliman as a VP. And I told her, I'm meeting Karla, because she's mentioned you to me before. And she said, oh my God, Karla's the best. Karla's the best.
I love
and
her so much.
to get that kind of compliment from a VP when it's your very first project, like, speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And she said that you came in with, like, really no experience in development sales, and you just are killing it. And that you always have a smile on your face. And, like, I heard all of this on the car on the way here. She's like, oh, you're going to absolutely love her. And somebody like this, for me, as somebody who picks teams and hires people, is like, like a dream.
Aww,
So no, I have to just, like, recognize you and let you know that I heard wonderful things about you.
Thank you so much.
Likewise. I've always said, and I've met you a couple of times just briefly, and I've always had these, like, beautiful, like, energy from you, and you know your craft, and that just speaks volumes.
Thank you. I wasn't ready to cry this morning.
Don't cry, girl. Don't cry.
Thank you so much. And I've heard incredible things about all of you, and Elliot I know very well. It's incredible as well. So I'm very happy to be sitting alongside all of you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Elliot.
So I'm the sales director for Dolce & Gabbana Residences in Brickell under Sotheby's. And of course, before we begin, I want to thank you for inviting all of us here to your panel this morning, and to be sitting along such esteemed guests on the panel is an honor for me. I've been in the business for over 14 years. New construction has always been my niche. It was something that I kind of fell into by accident. But as I worked more on the outhouse area, working with buyers, I started realizing that new construction is actually an area that buyers have no idea. They do not know a lot about new construction. New construction is very different because it's not tangible. So how are you able to tell from a buyer standpoint what you're buying is what you're actually going to be getting on the back end? How do you know what the product is? How do you know how to make a good decision? And I realized very quickly that that's an area that I could actually bring a lot of value. Mm-hmm. And then when I had the opportunity to be a sales director to work on the strategic part of the asset, it was something that I jumped on. So.
It's amazing. And I definitely want to dive into that with you a little bit more, because you made a point. I mean, selling new construction is a different ballgame, right? You have to paint the picture. You have to definitely, you have to create the vision, because a lot of people, they're like, they need their visual.
It's storytelling.
It's storytelling.
Yeah, definitely.
You're selling a dream.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your story, Mr. D&G and his suit and everything. We have to point it out.
It's Dolce & Gabbana,
yeah.
D&G.
Dolce.
Elliot asked us all to not get too close to him because his suit is Dolce & Gabbana.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't be touched.
No, he didn't want any makeup on it. He didn't want anybody's face on it. Okay, awesome. And now we also have Karley, which she had to join us via Zoom. You guys, if your mic is not muted, please do me a favor and just mute it. And we're going to give the floor over to Karley, which she's on the Zoom right here, looking beautiful in red. Please introduce yourself, my love.
Everybody, my name is Karley Chynces, and I'm currently working on Minty Fort Lauderdale. And I to answer Alexis's question as to how I got involved in pre-construction. It was never part of the plan. I didn't know that I wanted it until I was offered the opportunity. And I guess like the exciting thing is I'm a Miami native through and through. I have seen the city become what it was yesterday, where it is today, and where it's going tomorrow. And my parents are builders, so I've always seen my parents bring projects to life. And I feel like growing up around
It's amazing. So it comes full circle for you on a personal and a career level. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us, Karley. We miss you. Wish we could have had you here, but thank you.
Cold in New York.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna dive into some questions here. So what would you say are the key factors that are driving new construction in Miami and Fort Lauderdale? Would you say it's more local buyers, international buyers, or national buyers? What is it that you're witnessing, experiencing in 2025?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think we're getting both local buyers that want to purchase as an investment, a new trend that is a lot of millennials ever since COVID, but primarily, at least for when I speak for myself and my specific development, what I see is a lot of second home owners who are taking advantage of our taxes, are taking advantage of those tax breaks coming here, 6 months of the year, or that they're also looking to our snowbirds, right? They're coming here during cold season right now. There's a lot of buyers from New York because New York is very, very cold. So this is the time of the year that they come down here. And then we have our investors, right? So Latin America, who is looking for a more steady, not only economy where to place their funds, but where to also a more stable political government, right? So they're coming here and they're investing in Miami. Miami right now is thriving. We have a thriving economy. We have climate, which is something that everybody comes here for our weather. We have a melting pot of different diversities here. We have restaurants. We have everything that you could want in a place. We have it here in Miami. So I feel that everybody in the world really wants to be here, but those are primarily like the most targeted audiences that we have is like second home owners and investors from Latin America.
Absolutely. We all represent different projects and it's a different product, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you say for your project is mainly investors or do you think it's more like end users?
I would say we have a little bit of both, right?
Okay.
So there are certain units, our price points range from 1.6 million up to 4 million, and then our penthouses starting at 11. So I have end users who want this as in they're gonna be making a transition, moving to Miami, and the timeline works with them. So this is something that they're gonna look at as end users. I have investors that come in because they know what's happening on the island, and they come in as an investor and they end up buying as an end user. But definitely I have a little bit of both. Investors definitely are looking for something to maximize on investment, and our island is developing now, so it's a perfect place to be.
I agree with that. How about Elliot? What are you seeing? Because you're in Brickell, right?
I'm in Brickell.
So
I'm in
what
the center of Brickell.
What are you seeing there?
What we're seeing right now, actually, trends that are in 2025 and the end of 2024 is that a lot of people don't want to deal with having to hire contractors and going through remodeling. And so a lot of new construction right now actually is doing better than the resale market, primarily because when you buy a new construction, you get a product that is given to you that's already finished. You have warranties on everything in the apartment. You don't have to worry about anything for the next 7 to 10 years in terms of maintenance. For a lot of people, that's a very big comfort. For our development at the Dolce & Gabbana in Brickell, we offer a fully furnished and fully finished product. So by the time that we're done, our development, we know that our buyers are very comfortable because it's a turnkey product. They come in, they don't have to hire a contractor, a designer. A lot of the times you have to get permits, which will take over a year while paying all the carrying costs, taxes, HOA, insurance. So we kind of alleviate all of that headache for our buyers. And we really give them a product that's standout. Everything is designed by Dolce & Gabbana. And then they get all of the electronic window curtains, window treatments, closets are done, so they really don't have to do anything. And we're seeing that we have a very good response from our market, and the buyers are very happy.
Okay, so the brand is pretty present in the units.
Yes, they are.
Okay, I love that. I love that because, as you know, I mean, some branded projects that's not the case. So I love that you're able to be in the unit and you're like, all right, this is a Dolce & Gabbana product.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we actually have a question before we move on to the next topic. How do you think immigration policies will affect the investors? Does anybody have feedback on that?
I think that Miami will always continue to cater to Latin America. I don't know if you mean the current immigration policy, like with affecting like Colombians or?
I would assume, Melissa, you're referring to the current policies. Let's see if she us U.S. Feel free to unmute yourself if you want to chat with us.
I think it really
there she is.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the price point. Honestly, like we're still seeing Latin American buyers. I think it's never. I don't really think it's ever going to stop. I mean, we are the gateway to Latin America. This is a country where traditionally Latin American buyers feel very safe putting their money here, safer than anywhere else. Latin America will always continue to be, the presence will always continue to be very strong in Miami. And whether it's Colombia or Mexican buyers, I'm even seeing buyers from Venezuela, I'm seeing buyers from Argentina. There's always some kind of upset in the political climate in different countries historically, like one year it's one year it's the other. But Miami will always be a very steady market for all of Latin America.
It's a hub.
Yeah, it is. It is. And anyone who says that they don't market to Latin America, I mean, they've got another thing coming, because you will see that you will always, you can't ignore the Latin American market. It's a very important market for all of Miami.
Yeah. They say the United States is the safest Latin American country.
Yeah. And I'm talking about like every price point. In the luxury price point, we just had a sale for over $9 million, and they're from Colombia. So, residency here, thank you. But like we continue to, one of my salespeople, Mariela, is traveling to Colombia we haven't hit that market for the Welland Bay Harbor, but she's doing an event in Colombia in April. We had a lot of success with Argentina. So I think that will continue regardless of the policies.
Yeah,
I completely agree. I think that the United States really is such a safe haven, especially our economy, our currency. It gives everybody, not just Latin America, a lot of the world want to trade in U.S. dollars, and they still do, and it's because the U.S. is very secure. It's worked on a system that's been working since the 1700s, and it's what continues to draw so many people from all these countries to come and invest in the United States. Florida, specifically Miami, which is the best performing city and the state, has been doing very well in the last few years because of all of these economic conditions that we have. And we have a very pro-government that is supportive of business. And we're getting all the benefits of it.
I think that makes it even more attractive for people to invest in Miami.
Absolutely.
With a stricter government, the way things are, what is going on now, I think it makes it people feel even safer putting their money into this country.
I agree with that statement very much. Very much. All right, so shifting gears into marketing a little bit, and you just mentioned how, if we're not marketing to those international buyers, we're definitely going to be missing out. So what has worked the best? And we can go around and really answer this one, but as far as marketing, what do you see is more effective? Are we talking social media? Are we talking email blasts? Are we talking calling the phone? Like, what really has moved the needle individually for you guys? We can start with Karla.
Sure. I feel like you need to do a little bit of everything, right? Like, you can't just focus on one thing. You need to use your social media platforms, which is now a free platform that we have to market ourselves, to market our product, to really engage with our audiences. We have to do the digital leads and the Google ads and all of those things, which our developers really handle that back end work. And then we have to travel, just like Susan just said, you have to get out there and go meet these buyers, go find these buyers, right? So if these buyers, you see a huge influx from Colombia or from Guatemala or from Ecuador, wherever like it is, Mexico City, you have to go find these buyers and go to the seminars, go do client presentations and bring them here. Show them what the value is of investing here in Miami. But you really have to do everything. And the email blast too. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? You have to scatter your eggs and you have to really dig into every single system, and you'll start seeing the needle move.
Right, absolutely. All right, so like this is more targeted to maybe somebody that's watching this that is a new agent or newer to selling new development and they're selling as an outside agent. Susan, what would you say would be maybe like the first step to what should they focus on when it comes to their marketing, right? Because you got to start somewhere, right? That you feel it's kind of be more effective for you. What would be that first step to take when it comes to your marketing
For a general real estate agent?
for new development?
For new dev, okay. I think you really need to start like really branding yourself. Okay, putting yourself out there. And our business is very relationship driven. Most of my business is coming from like a handful of agents. Okay, and those are agents that I really have built relationships with. You have to nurture the relationships with people. It's not about how large your database is. Your database can be, you could buy a database of 30,000 people, but if they don't know you, they're not going to call you. So, I have a brand new agent on my team in Coconut Grove. She's doing amazing. She is starting to just reach out and kind of going back to like old school techniques and reaching out to people, taking people for lunch, like getting to know people and building those relationships. And I think that's key. I think you really need to nurture your brokers and get to know them. Do whatever you can, because at the end of the day, our brokers are our bread and butter.
Absolutely. And is that presenting your way as a salesperson, right? Because everybody runs away from salespeople, right?
Yeah,
so it
absolutely.
really is key presenting yourself and building a genuine connection, right? Because you also want it to be genuine, but it's gonna lead into a business relationship. You touched up on personal branding. Karley, I want you to chime in a little bit because I feel you've created an amazing personal brand. So, I mean, I agree. It's very important to bring your personal brand, create your personal brand, but I would love for you to chime in a little bit more and share what it's done for you in your business.
Everything at the end of the day, and your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So one of the best books I've ever read is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in the entry point, it says start with the end in mind. So when you're thinking about your clients, your customers, how do you want them to know you when you're particularly not in the room? Like, I feel like I have done an excellent job at every single person I talk to knows that I'm from Miami and that I do real estate. And people who don't know me on social media, they meet me, they're like, oh, you're that real estate girl, you're that real estate girl. But I'm also very specific with working commercial properties, working with investors. So it's very targeted in that sense. Is you have to be consistent with your brand and you don't want to spread yourself too thin. A lot of times when I see new agents and people in the industry, it's like they try to be here, they try to be there. It's like we do a lot of deals, we send a lot of referrals. I give away business all the time because it does not align with my brand. And you have to just be very consistent with that. Like this week, I had done deals within a short term rental community, a warehouse lease, and I also did a deal with a villa in St. Martin across 3 different countries. But the only thing that I'm personally marking is things that align with my brand. So it's not in the sense that you're actually limiting your income. You're just becoming like this hyper local influencer within your actual specialty and sending business from there.
Such a powerhouse, Karley. What people want to know, what was the name of the book?
Oh, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
We're all gonna buy that today.
Amazon is gonna love us. They're gonna love you, Karley.
I read it once a year.
That's good to know. And it is really important. Like if there's a book that motivates you or an audiobook, you can't just listen or read it once. It's something that you always kind of have to circle back to. So I love that you're sharing that. It is a book that you read once a year, and it's helping you be so effective in everything that that you're doing.
Yeah, it's like 7 habits that you know about yourself, and it's like how can you relate these things to your life, to your business on a daily basis.
Awesome. So this next question is actually going to be for you as well. So I'm aware, not everybody's aware of Nativo and how Nativo is the first short-term rental, new construction in Fort Lauderdale. Is that correct? Were you able to hear me?
Everyone mute themselves.
If somebody's not unmuted, you're gonna be disqualified to win. To win. Oh, I can mute them.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Paula.
Paula.
Paula is she is in trouble. Okay, so my question was, we were talking about, I want you to talk a little bit more about Nativo, which is the project that you're representing, you're in-house for. It is the first short-term rental approved new development in Fort Lauderdale, correct? All right, I want you to share a little bit if there's any marketing tactics that you are using for targeting investors that are primarily interested in this type of product.
Definitely. So, as humans and buyers in the industry, we're creatures. Paula, can you mute yourself, please? And thank you. So, we're creatures of habit, and we like to have proven track records and consistency. In Miami, there are 22 buildings that are licensed for short-term rental. In Fort Lauderdale, this is the first building that has the license to do short-term rentals. And when you see that there's all these people coming in, we have to really rely on our data. So we're a much different concept as any of the other projects that are here because we're not selling views, we're not selling amenities, we are selling cash flow. We're selling a property that you can essentially monetize from day one. So we're heavily targeting investors, wealth management companies, international buyers who want a place, a safe place to be able to park their money. And when you mention about wanting to invest in a different product or how do we target all these people, it really just comes back to basics. And it's a matter of having everybody really know about what you're building, what you're creating. And it's very powerful in terms of knowing the data because people will buy where they're actually comfortable with seeing the numbers. So in Fort Lauderdale, there's 40 million people that are visiting every single year. And there's only 35,000 hotel rooms. So when we're looking at capitalizing on the short-term rental market, we're looking at the average daily rental sector of the industry as to what is the demand, what's going on. We are seeing that Miami, even though I'm a Miami girl through and through, it's pricing people out. And Fort Lauderdale is that next sub-market north that is still a very affordable price point for an entry-level investor.
Thank you, Karley. That was very well said. And I mean, you do have a little bit of an edge over there in Fort Lauderdale. How's the drive going lately?
A little bit painful.
Would you consider moving to Fort Lauderdale?
So I really like Fort Lauderdale actually. I feel like I've been part of Miami's growth over the years. I've seen Brickell what it was 20 years ago. I remember driving down the design district with my dad before what it was today. And the only store that was there was Christian Louboutin. And I remember having these conversations with my dad and saying, this is going to be like the next big area. This is being developed. And I kind of feel like that in Fort Lauderdale right now. I drive through the area and I feel like I'm watching this cycle all over again. And it's really cool to be part of it. So maybe, I'm not sure right now. My heart is still in Miami, but if they're selling and doing business, it's in Fort Lauderdale.
Miami is definitely a hard city to leave.
Once you're here, you don't leave.
Definitely. Gina has a question. I don't know if anybody knows, but how can we find buildings that have short-term rental license? I don't know. Is there a way we can pull that up somewhere?
So I have prepared a master list of all the buildings. I'm more than happy to send it to everybody. If you send us your emails, I will send you the list that I have prepared for all the buildings.
Okay, great to know. And again, Karley is representing Nativo in Fort Lauderdale. Karley, will you on the chat put your email address so anybody or phone number, whatever you're comfortable sharing with everybody that's on here in case they want to reach out to you, more questions about the project, just plug your information in there. Okay, thank you, Karley. That was awesome. All right, so let's move a little bit to sales strategies, right, for selling new construction. Where would you say the focus should be? Location, amenities as a new, and this is targeted to somebody that's starting to sell new development. They're new, when speaking to their buyers, what should their target be?
The most important, of course, in real estate is location. Absolutely, location, location, location. That's the golden rule. For buyers, I think it's very important for them to focus on who the developer is behind the project. The development team, the design team, the architect teams, the entire team, it really is what makes or breaks a project, especially when it comes to resale values in the future for owners and appreciation for everybody that's involved in the project. For us at Dolce & Gabbana, we're represented by JDS Development Group out in New York, who's known for innovation, breakthrough technology for building super tall towers. And one of the key important facts about us is that we're actually bringing the same construction management team from New York, the same technology, the 2-mast damper system, to Miami to build our towers. And I think, of course, you guys all have spectacular developers that you guys are working with, and I think that is one key fact of buyers, and also for agents who are going to bring buyers to new development. That is one thing that's absolutely paramount.
Well, the buyers are more educated now, and they want to know who the developer is. Okay, it's not just about buying into a pretty building anymore. They're doing their due diligence. They want to know. It's for a lot of our buyers, especially in like the more luxury market, who the developer is like everything. They want to know what have they done. It's one of the first questions I get asked from buyers. What other buildings did they do? Did they build? So, I mean, we all work with big developers here in Miami. So, in JDS is huge in New York, but like locally they did
The Monad
Terrace, which is a beautiful building. So, I think that's something that we're hearing very often now. It's one of the first questions I get from buyers. Who's the developer? If they don't already know.
Right. Yeah, new development buyers are definitely getting more savvy to that. Like, it's something that didn't pay attention. To your point, they're interested in the building, the location, the finishes, but they didn't really think, okay, who is building this building, right? But it is incredibly important and key to know what their background is, right? What their portfolio is, what have they done in the city. You want to make sure your project or that is an investment. You want to make sure it's
also the brand. So
Absolutely.
if you're selling a branded building, they want to know. I mean, for us at the Well, a lot of people compare us, and they'll say, they remember Canyon Ranch and how Canyon Ranch pulled out after a year, and now it's Carillon. So, how do we know that the Well won't go out of business? So with the branded buildings, they also, you have to really, as a salesperson, you have to really know the brand. You have to have that answer like at the tip of your tongue, and you need to educate the buyer. And also ask them on that, and I also tell them, you're welcome to do your due diligence on the brand, and you'll see. Yeah. And another thing is our developer, most of these good developers, they would never go into business with a brand that wasn't financially stable.
Right.
Absolutely.
There's so much power to what you just said when you said that, you tell the buyers, go do your research, because you're welcoming them to find out for themselves.
Absolutely.
There's so much confidence behind that, and also for your project, Karla. If people research who Bruce Eichner is, I mean, there's so much power to it. You don't even have to really sell it. You tell them, do your research. You'll see for yourself. Yeah.
And Continuum has a brand because it's such an iconic building already that is in South Florida.
Yeah, it's already. It's pretty much a legacy and what South of Fifth is. But I think it all comes down to terms of security, right? So when your clients are buying new dev, it's something that, like Elliot has said, is not tangible. You're buying something that's not tangible. So how do you make this client feel secure? It's history. What has your developer done? Our developers are icons. We have a track record. We are going vertical, which is very important when you're asking somebody to put their money into an escrow fund and hope and pray that the building is being completed. So I do think that buyers are doing way more due diligence now because of security. They want to feel secure with their purchase.
And a number of them have been burned in the past.
Which is why, if you go to, I can sell you my project right now. You just came in to see me, but you're gonna go to dinner with 4 of your friends who are gonna have stories about a building that wasn't built, right? So you wanna know that your developer is going to deliver the product that you're investing in. And that's super important when it comes to all of us. And that's why I love working for my developer, because I'm so sure when I sell his project that not only is he going to deliver this product, but it's gonna be an iconic building that you're gonna be happy with forever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So,
I want to add
yes.
with the developments in the brand. So I mean, Dubai was definitely like the pioneer of the branded residence, and they have 32 buildings that are branded. And in South Florida, there's 20 buildings that are in the pipeline, like Mercedes-Benz, Dolce & Gabbana, John George's, and having a tie to a brand is definitely a target for South Florida to be able to sell to the super luxury clientele. And the only way that a brand will be able to successfully accomplish this is by working with a developer that does have experience. So the team behind everything, it's like you could be the most spectacular brand, but if you're not aligned with a developer who has decades of experience on end, the project is not going to get off the ground. It's like it will never go vertical, and the whole team in place, from development to construction to design to brand, it all integrates like under this umbrella to create actually something beautiful that's going to be developed.
Very nicely put. Thank you for that, Karley.
Well said.
Well, very well said. And Brian says selling branded is about selling to a lifestyle. And we couldn't agree more with that statement. All right, so a lot of it is how we say things, right, as agents, and not what we say, right? So I in particularly love this question because what's the best way, or how do you guys, what's your technique to overcome any objections such as delays, price points during the sales process? So if there's an objection from your buyer or your broker, how do you manage, how do you navigate that to
Turn it into a positive.
Yeah, I agree.
Turn it around.
Yeah.
Turn it around.
That's part of our job
Yeah,
title.
it's
We're
part of our job.
salespeople.
Yeah.
We have to find the negative and make it into a positive.
Yeah.
Very well said, because that's really what we do. We
And find a solution. You know, like don't leave anything open-ended. Always have, a solution. You have to know what the obstacles are, what buyers are going to come to you with, and just you have to have an answer.
just pretty much be prepared?
Yeah.
Well, that's the good thing with working with in-house agents, because we are the ones that already have researched and already have a lot of answers to these questions, and we help agents close. That's what we do. Right?
It is what we do.
There's a question. They asked for an example in the chat. I actually wanted to give an example for something that happened to me last night with one of my clients. I had 2 units under contract with my development, and my buyer called me that he got cold feet and he wanted to cancel the contract. And one thing that we have to do as agents is we always have to have a secret weapon. And by that, I mean you have to be able to have a tactic that you're not publicly sharing to be able to use to save deals. So, for example, like we recently launched our leaseback program. This was a buyer that he was very much in love with the project without even having the leaseback program. When he backed out, we then presented the leaseback program to him, and now he feels much more comfortable with the deal, and also creating some sort of addendums. So you never want to be able to give everything at once. You have to withhold some things, and I don't mean that to sound like in a way that we're withholding information from our client, but we are just having like those extra opportunities to be able to give to them to save the deal at the end of the day. So always have that little something that you know that you could offer them just in case something were to go south.
I can give an example of turning something around. For example, in my project in Coconut Grove, we have shareable access to the rooftop. We have 40,000 square feet of rooftop amenities. Okay, it will be shared with the club. So this is something I disclose very early on, but I completely, before anybody has a chance to object, I completely turn it around. And I'm honest when I say this. I'm like, how many times do you go to a luxury building and you go to the amenities? And I'm speaking about a building that does not allow short-term rentals. And there's no life. There's no life in the pool deck. A bar, cafe area could never survive because there's just not enough people to feed into it. So I turn that into a positive, that this is going to be a very social space. There is limited access. You're never going to be bored up there. You're going to be meeting new people. The owners do have a special area, but you'll probably never want to be in that area. You're going to love the social aspect. And suddenly people start envisioning the lifestyle, and they start thinking about, wow, I'm going to have a common area that I'll want to stay home and spend my whole day, like possibly on this rooftop, because I can work from there. I can eat there. I can swim. I can take a class. And they start thinking about, like, it's kind of depressing to go to some of these buildings and go up to the pool deck and you're the only one there. I mean, not day after day.
You're there for 30 minutes and you leave.
If you're antisocial, is the
I like it.
To me,
I
that's
like it.
I
Like,
know,
have
but to me,
nobody
that's
there,
a
have the whole
great
pool.
But
selling
I have to
point.
tell you,
take
a
it.
lot of my buyers are empty nesters, and the
Yeah.
reason why they're like selling the house in Pinecrest, and they want to move to Coconut Grove, and they want to meet people, and they want that social aspect. So I think, I mean, it really depends. You have to know who your buyer, once you know who your buyer is, you know how to speak their language
Right.
and what is going to appeal to them. So turning something, like, it's very easy to say and lose a deal by saying, oh, by the way, we have, you're going to have to share the rooftop deck with the people downstairs at the club. And that could just kill the deal right there.
I
But
agree
you
with that.
turn it into something else, and people see your excitement, and that's, I think, like, that's a great example of what we do,
Absolutely.
and telling the story, and not just presenting. Like, you have to just one thing I can't stand is when I go to get a presentation, and without even somebody getting to know who I am or who my buyers are, they just break out into presentation and, like, this is the kitchen and this is this. Like, they don't sit down and get to know who are they selling to.
Yeah.
Like, you need to.
Absolutely.
I don't. I
Absolutely.
don't need to. I have a different presentation for every single person,
That's right.
and you have to get to know who's in front of you. You sit down. You you just start talking about, when you start asking questions, it makes the buyer feel relaxed,
And you let them talk.
and you let them
That's
talk.
the most
Right.
important thing,
Yeah.
is listen and let the buyer talk. They're going to give you more information
They're going to give you all the
than
answers.
they were
Right.
supposed to.
Yeah.
And then it's like
Yeah.
we said at the beginning, psychology.
It's psychology.
So the
yeah.
second that you know your audience and you can tailor your presentation to that client, crack a joke every now and then, make them laugh, get out of the presentation, get back in, like, really engage with your people. If anybody speaks to you for 45 minutes, just robotic, you're gonna get bored. I get bored.
Extremely.
You
And
have
even
to keep it exciting.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
even when you're presenting to brokers, because part of what we do is inviting offices to our office, giving presentations. Don't just, like, brokers don't want to just hear the whole presentation start to finish. Like, what brokers want to hear is, they want to know, you need to focus on key points. They want to know how much they're getting paid, number one.
Yes.
And
when.
they want, and when. And then the best thing to do, what I like to do when I have brokers, is I'm going to give you a presentation and like talk about the key points. But my job here is to tell you how to sell this project. How to sell this project, who the buyer is from this project. And then once you go with that technique, like, the wheels start churning, and then they start thinking about which one of their buyers they could bring to this project. And it's much more effective than just going into presentation. Teach them how to sell, who the buyers are. The other day I had EWM from Key Biscayne. Brown Harris Stevens, EWM, Key Biscayne. And that's what I did. I told them who our buyers are. Do you guys have buyers who are soon to be empty nesters wanting to sell their homes in Key Biscayne and Pinecrest? Think about those people and bring them to us, because they all want to be in Coconut Grove. And a lot of these brokers, they didn't think about that. So I'm like, dig into your local database. Contact people from overseas and, like, the New York metropolitan area, like, maybe at a later time. But right now, your buyers are in your backyards, and you don't even realize
You
it.
don't even know that
Yeah.
they're in your Rolodex.
Yeah. No, I mean, it goes back to, like, we spoke in the beginning, right? It's about making that connection. And I'm big on that with my presentations. Like, if the first 10 minutes, especially a broker or buyer, doesn't matter. I've never met you before. You don't know me either. Like, let's make a connection. How, how do I find something in common with this person? And it just makes it more, the presentations become more of just a natural conversation and not a pitch, right?
Absolutely.
So that's
Yeah.
incredibly important. And objections are always going to be there, and it's just how you tackle them. And you always want to turn it around and spin it and put the positive, not spin it, but put the positive light, right? It's the cup half full of half empty.
Exactly.
With that being said, shifting gears or adding to that, right? Sometimes when there is these objections, we may need to create a sense of urgency, right? Elliot, do you have any tactics or something that you kind of save or keep under your sleeve that you may use when you kind of have to create that certain sense of urgency to a buyer or maybe a broker?
So for us, as of the current moment, what we do is we concentrate on creating massive momentum. That's what we do. We create results. We're a result-oriented development, and we average anywhere between 10 to 12 presentations per day. As of right now, in my office, even today, we have about 12 presentations going on at the same time.
Wow.
A lot of them are back to back, and so for us, it's about figuring out how, as a sales team, do we make sure we keep the buyer experience on a high level, at the same time still accommodating to all of the presentations that we have. And that in itself creates a lot of urgencies to our buyers because we offer such a tremendous amount of value in our development. I welcome everybody to come learn about our project, come see us, and really understand what we have to offer. And in itself, it creates an urgency because there's so many people, there's so much buzz between what we're doing right now. And then we just continue to innovate. For example, we have a ballroom that's going to be open to residents and also Dolce & Gabbana members. What we're going to do is we're going to create a type of happy hour that's going to be limited to few top brokers that we're going to invite. Of course, all of you guys are invited to come join us. And we're going to provide drinks and sort of a social hour that really mimics the whole ballroom experience. And so for us, it's about innovating different approaches to continue building momentum. And that in itself really creates the urgency. We find ourselves having 2 or 3 agents fighting over a unit that a buyer wants to purchase. And for me, that is it's a good problem to have. It's something that we're very happy to help solve. How do we unlock more units for them? And I think we do a lot better going this approach as opposed to, hey, how do we create a sense of urgency, creating incentives? We're in the very beginning of the project. So I think it really sells itself when you're in the beginning of the project. You get in when you're early, you bring your buyers, they get a very good price. You know that they're going to be really well taken care of for the remainder of how long they own the asset. And I think that in itself is a sense of urgency that I think the buyers should understand.
Absolutely. And I think everybody knows what project you're representing because of your outfit.
We see it.
Okay.
But we feel it. But again, Elliot is the sales director for 888 Brickell, Dolce & Gabbana. So any questions for that project or to get a hold of Elliot, I will provide his address on here.
Oh, thank you.
It's a joke. It's a joke. We will provide his email address, and you can definitely feel free to ask him any more questions or get a hold of him. So we're getting close to the end. We have, just so you guys know, about another 10 minutes or so. A lot of you know there is a giveaway. We will announce who the winner is at the end, but you do have to stay till the end. So if you're thinking of jumping ship, not yet. Not yet. All right. Moving to a little bit into like design trends and amenities. And this question is for Susan, especially because you are representing the well, right? And
Yes.
It has just such the zen spa. I mean, the amenities are incredibly, and they're an experience, right? They're experience to be experienced at the well. So I want us to dive in a little bit. What have you seen in the last couple of years as far as buyers kind of shifting their focus and their mindset more into wellness, right? Living.
Absolutely. So we're finding that, let's face it, the most important investment is in yourself. Okay, and we're finding that our buyers right now are coming to us just because they're drawn to the brand, not only the brand, but what the brand has to offer. The well is all about just creating and living in a healthier lifestyle. We're more than just a building with a nice spa, okay? The Well itself is a private members-only club. We have a lot of wellness amenities infused within the units as well. Like, where else can you live and get a lymphatic drainage massage in your shower? Non-toxic paint, air filtration systems. We have everything from.
It's incredible.
I want to live there.
I want to try
You
this.
sold me a lymphatic massage.
Me too.
Lymphatic massage.
I don't even know what that means,
Wow.
but that sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds
It
great.
will,
girl
it will
thing.
change. No, it will change her life. We'll take
Yeah.
you. Karla and I will take you. Who is talking?
Somebody's
Benjamin.
speaking Portuguese.
Well, Benjamin, do you have a buyer for us? If not, we gotta meet you.
Oh, Ben. I know Ben very well.
So so our project is very it's definitely in Bay Harbor. It's definitely a very niche buyer. We have buyers coming to us, and we even have buyers flying to Miami with and they've told me, I never thought about buying in Miami, but I want to buy at the Well. So Coconut Grove is a little bit different because people are more drawn to the Grove. They love the brand, but it's a different buyer.
Right.
The brand is definitely very important. The amenities are, you have everything right there at your fingertips. You can get if you're waking up and you're not feeling great, whether you have a hangover or you are feeling under the weather, you can order an IV drip, even in your own home. We get complete wellness checks, access to acupuncture, telemedicine. So it's more than just spa treatments. It's actually a home designed to make you sleep better, live longer.
That's amazing. And wellness is such a key factor. It's such a trending topic right now.
And it's
so
Miami.
It's amazing.
Yeah. People are very driven by health, right? And wellness and looking good, feeling good, staying young, looking young. So
plus it's an amazing building with great amenities. And even in Bay Harbor, we're having a beach club. We have non-chlorinated pools. We're creating a community within a community, very like-minded community. Here in Coconut Grove, it's very amenity-driven. We have the private club, but we also have a 40,000 square foot rooftop. And we've utilized the entire rooftop. It's like a jungle in the sky. We even have an outdoor gym. We pick a ball on the roof.
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Can't
so
wait to go
it's
get a
something. It's
presentation.
really special.
That is
It is
special.
very
It's really special.
That is very
Again, it's not a view building, but it's walking distance to everything. We have an amazing developer, David Martin from Terra Group. So it's a very special project.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing your project. Again, Susan is representing, she's the sales director for the Well in the Grove and Bay Harbor. And I'll also include her information on the chat, so if anybody wants to reach out to her, feel free to do so. Before we move to the next topic, there's a great question here from Peter Carey, and he's asking if anybody on the panel can offer any tips on engaging brokers to come into a presentation.
Offer them food. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's a big one. Food and
Offer
drinks.
them food and drinks.
Yeah. We have
Okay.
Be a person, be a friend, talk about their dog. I don't know, if you have them on social media, really don't just reach out to them and send them a cold message saying, hey, come by for a presentation. No, you know how many of those we get? We have over 100 projects.
Right.
So kind of just relate to them, try to make them your friend. It's like Susan was saying, you have to nurture your relationships with your brokers. If they like you, they'll work with you. If same as buyers will work with you because they like you, not because there's a shortage of realtors. So if you want the broker community, earn it.
I have another good idea. Let's say your project is in an area with other projects, even if they're represented by different companies. We had a little bit of a traffic issue with not getting enough brokers to come into our office in Bay Harbor. So everyone thought I was crazy because I was involving Cervera and Fortune and, Douglas Elliman, which we had other projects right in Bay Harbor. I created a developer tour, a development tour, a walking tour. We're now on our 6th tour that we're doing, and we get an average of 50 to 70 brokers coming through our door. And we do a walking tour. We offer different light bites at every project, and we do little mini presentations. And I can tell you, it's so successful right now. And it's a great way to just collaborate with your competition and keep everything really friendly. And you're then creating great relationships with your competition. Okay, so they're not going to badmouth you.
We're actually, I'm glad to know that you're the one who created that, because we got the idea from you guys, from seeing this in the chat constantly, and from going and visiting every single project. So we thought it was a great idea, and we're now implementing it in North Bay Village.
Exactly. Just like think outside the box and do something a little bit different. Create something that you know brokers will come to.
Yeah.
You know, and you're right, offer them food. It's always a good thing. Offer them food. But do something just like a little kitschy. Sometimes it just really works.
That's such a great idea. I've seen that tour. I've been on that tour.
Oh, okay.
Once. I think
Well, do one in Brickell.
Do one in Brickell.
Do one in Brickell.
Yeah, actually,
Let me tell you, it works. It really
welcome.
works. You have enough projects there that you can collaborate with everyone, and you'll see. You'll get a ton of people through your door.
That's amazing. You're the creator. I'm sitting next to the creator.
She's the legend.
She's the legend
in the flesh.
The myth, the legend.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you guys for everybody for sharing that. I think that's, somebody that is new in an in-house position, right? We're trying to figure out kind of like the ropes, right, and the steps. So that's very, very helpful. Thank you for sharing. I want to talk about North Bay Village because that's where Karla's project is, and that area is changing completely. I've been to a couple of different presentations for projects in the area, and so I just want you to share a little bit. I feel like it's that new upcoming area. I want you to just share a little bit with our audience what to expect, and then you can also dive in right into the Continuum.
Sure, absolutely. So right now, North Bay Village is the last undeveloped island that we have in Miami. So, and the reason for that is because we didn't have the zoning to be able to build high rises like what we're used to seeing all over Miami until just a few years ago. So now we have all of these iconic developers because we have not only Bruce Eichner, we have George Perez, we have Pagani coming. We have so many huge brands and developers coming to the island, and the reason for that is because it's the next hottest island. So think of what South of Fifth was 20 years ago. Think of what Brickell was before it was Brickell, before Brickell City Center was there. The same thing you can expect here, but it's an island that is completely surrounded by water, giving you 360 cinematic views of water. So really the place to be and the place to invest right now is right now, because this is the starting of this island. We have 9 developers. We have $6 billion coming. We have the Association of Argentinian Football that's building a training facility there that it will be done by the World Cup. We have a similar project to Brickell City Center coming, which is going to add huge value. It's almost double the size of Brickell City Center. And then we have somebody like Bruce Eichner, which is my developer, that is creating an iconic tower. He did it on South of Fifth. He put his hands in South of Fifth when it was nothing. And now he's coming to North Bay Village to do exactly the same thing. So when you have a developer that is known for being a visionary and transforming areas, it's a no-brainer, right? You're coming into an island at a place, and it's like what we say, the sell, right? So the sell is the vision. I'm constantly selling a vision every single day. I'm making you see what's coming here. And my buyers are gonna thank me in a few years with whatever they purchase at $1,200, $1,300 a square foot. Now comes delivery and you're at $1,900 a square foot. So yes, definitely, this is the place to be, and we're offering, 2 towers that are Continuum, just like Continuum in South of Fifth, 60,000 square feet of amenities, water access, which is huge, not only us, but the entire island. There's a lot of buildings that you can buy on the water, but don't give you water access. Here you can get on a kayak, paddleboard, get on our boat slips, use our yacht club membership. The opportunities are endless. It's a lifestyle.
Right. It's been like a little bit of a hidden gem.
Yes.
And now it's coming to light, and especially with projects like Continuum.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing all that. So again, Karla is representing Continuum in North Bay Village, and I'm also going to include all her information on here, not her address. Just email. Everybody from the Zoom is going to go to everybody's house. Like, we want information.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take one more question here. Oh, yes, Karley, my love, go ahead.
I want to answer the question that just came up on the chat that says what sort of concierge services are being offered beyond just simple restaurant reservations, maybe more global than local. So this is where tying with the brand and with a good team where you can really get creative. Specifically at Nativo, we have something that is going to be like a Nativo's Founders Program, which is going to be very similar to a Soho House. So if you own in one Nativo, you essentially get access to all of access to all the other properties that are tied with the brand. So that's something that we're specifically doing with our development. I don't know if everybody else wants to share different different services that they're offering with theirs, but this is something that we're doing at Motivo.
I know some of the brands, Four Seasons, Ritz Carlton's, are actually building profiles on buyers. So whenever they're actually going to live in another country, they're going to know that they're there for the wife's birthday and what their favorite drink is. So I like that aspect.
Yeah, personal brand profile. People like to feel wanted, and people want to feel exclusive, especially in cities in South Florida. Like we see all these new member clubs that are popping up, and they're here for a reason because it's you want to be able to feel like you're part of a community and part of something private. So I really enjoyed answering this question.
Thank you for answering that, Karley. All right, so we're about to just wrap things up. I think there was one more question I did want. Okay, so Teresa, this will be our last question. What are some really good points to remember from each project that can show buyers you know developments really well?
What was the question? Sorry.
She said, what are some really good points to remember from each project that can show buyers you know the development? So I think Karley just made a great point on how they're bringing that element, right, aside from the restaurants. Karla did share some about, North Bay Village. Is there something that you would like to point out about the well, or the well? I mean, that was, you said killed it with the lymphatic massage. But what is something that maybe Dolce had, like a pointer?
Well, Dolce is meant to really embody the spirit of Brickell, and Brickell has this vibe that's unlike any other city in all of Miami. And our development really captures the essence of that. So we have 115,000 square feet of amenities. We have what is called our active amenities, and then we have our quiet amenities that are residents only. Our active amenities will have the signature ballroom, lounges, restaurants. That's for everybody here in Brickell to enjoy. Two of the restaurants are private for our guests. And then we have a signature restaurant that will be open to public, which is going to be the same caliber as like a Sexy Fish or like a Gecko, like a Michelin star type of a restaurant. So we really integrate well with the community in the sense that our building, not only being an ultra luxury building, it also caters to everybody that lives within Brickell. So we really integrate with the city with our product.
Iconic.
Thank you.
It's what it's going to be. So thank you for sharing that. I want to thank Karla for being part of this today and sharing your project. Susan, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Elliot, thank you for being here. Before we let you guys go, we're going to deliberate for a second and see who the grand winner is. And then we'll say our goodbyes. So give us a moment. Can you guys hear us? No, good. We're gonna go with Brian. He had his camera on. He was engaging.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
I don't know where Alexis
Fine.
is, but if anybody has any questions, I'm still here.
We're back. We had to pick a winner. Oh, Karley, of course. Karley, thank you for being here on Zoom and sharing your project. Thank you so much for Karley. I will be including everybody's information on the chat. My project as well, which is 14 Rock. I would love to go into more details, hopefully in person. So I will put my information as well. And for our lucky winner which is a beautiful bottle of Dom Perignon and a 1-hour podcast session in the studio that you actually see us in, you'll be able to bring maybe a guest, and we'll take care of the full production for you. And the winner is going to be Brian. Brian, help us out with your last name. Spruggy?
Sprague.
Oh, Sprague. All right, Brian. So congratulations. I hope you like champagne and podcasting.
Absolutely.
Before we end, I just want to make a special mention to thank you, Alexis, for inviting all of us here and her development at 14 Rock.
Yes.
Your development is in a very special location, in the center of really everything, 15 minutes to everywhere. And so I would encourage everybody here to also learn about Alexis's amazing development. And thank you so much.
Yeah,
for inviting
absolutely.
us.
We're going to be located in the Entertainment and Arts District, so right on 14th and 2nd, fully furnished project, ready to go 2027. So yeah, thank you for that, Elliot. And Brian, before we log off this Zoom, please send me your email address on here so I can save it and we can be in contact. And thank you everybody for taking the time this morning, an hour or so your time on a Thursday morning to join us. And, you know, hopefully you got some great insights, some tips and knowledge, and we're here for you for any questions. And I think that's it.
And I think anybody that wants to reach out to any of us personally
Yes,
with
please
any
do.
questions or advice or, you know, anything about how to, you know, follow in our path, feel free.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
we can
absolutely.
include our Instagrams for everyone so everybody can connect.
Yeah. Well, I'll include if you want to give your Instagrams.
Panel was interested in pre-construction. I expect for everybody here to be extremely familiar with every single one of our developments to come in for presentations and everything.
That's a good expectation.
Please take advantage and encompass in their projects.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys want to plug out your Instagrams, Karla,
Sure. Somebody, Karla K. De La Torre. Well,
no, you can just tell them.
oh, my. I thought you were going to type it. Karla with a K De La Torre is my Instagram.
Susan Trevisa, at Susan Trevisa is mine.
I'm at Elliot Lee, 2 underscores.
Fantastic. And I'm at it's with the word it's Alexis now. And that's it.
Cute.
Thank you, Karley. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And have a beautiful day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank